no actual, the idea of Silicon Valley has become more like metaphorical, philosophical, rather than an actual geographical place. There's about 30 cities now that we would consider to be part of Silicon Valley. So it's not just one place as it sort of started, but this is where, of course there's some big tech in San Francisco as well, but this is where you're going to start to see a lot more companies based in tech. South San Francisco has sort of become the home base for biotech and genetech, things like that. So you'll see a lot of companies here who focus on biotech. And also we've got the airport here. But to go back to, like the beginnings of Silicon Valley, where did the name come from? What does it even mean? So the name Silicon Valley, the silicon part of the name, comes from the fact that back in the 1980s when tech was starting to rise in this area, silicon was really widely available and also really widely used in transistors, which were popular at the time, but also semiconductors. Right. And they were using silicon to build these semiconductors. So that's where the name, the silicon part of the name comes from. And then the valley part of the name comes from the actual area where they were based, which is the Santa Clara Valley. So that's how you end up with Silicon Valley. But again, of course, it encompasses a much broader space now. There's about 200 companies that are technically considered to be part of Silicon Valley, and it's growing every single year. You're usually looking at about 50 new tech companies every single year. 80% of them will typically fail, but lots of new companies every year. And when you're looking at the total annual revenue, basically, I guess, of Silicon Valley, you're looking at about $250 billion every single year. So really, really wealthy place. We also have a lot of the most expensive zip codes in the area here, which we'll talk more about later. We'll be driving through some of those cities like Palo Alto. Yeah.